Today, I'll explore the relationship between corporate social responsibility and consumer needs. The central question is how socially responsible corporations can respond proactively to what consumers truly value, rather than simply reacting after expectations have changed. Social responsibility is increasingly connected to consumer trust, expectations, and business relevance. We'll consider these ideas within the broader context of business environments and concepts, and examine why understanding this relationship matters more than ever for organizations seeking to remain responsive and responsible. Consumers today have more information, stronger values, and more ways to express their opinions. That shift has changed CSR from a desirable extra into a core business strategy. When a company demonstrates genuine responsibility, it can earn deeper trust and stronger loyalty over time. CSR also influences choice, because people increasingly prefer brands whose actions align with their own values. And when that alignment feels authentic, satisfied customers often do more than return. They recommend a brand, share its story, and become powerful advocates. Understanding the modern consumer is the starting point for proactive corporate social responsibility. Today's audiences look beyond products and prices. They want environmentally responsible sourcing, packaging, and operations. They also expect fair labor, diversity, and equitable pay across the supply chain. Just as importantly, they seek transparency with honest and verifiable reporting about corporate behavior. And they pay attention to local impact, supporting brands that invest in their communities. The key is to understand these expectations as connected priorities, not isolated demands. The CSR Proactive Response Framework presents corporate social responsibility as an ongoing discipline, not a one-time reaction. It begins by listening to consumers and stakeholders so the organization understands what matters most. Next, it aligns those insights with business strategy and priorities. The organization then acts through meaningful initiatives rather than promises alone. Finally, it reports results openly, creating transparency and accountability. The key idea is continuity. Listening, aligning, acting, and reporting form a cycle that strengthens credibility and builds sustained consumer confidence over time. Before a corporation can respond responsibly, I believe it must first learn to listen actively. Proactive CSR depends on intelligence gathered through more than traditional market research. Social media monitoring reveals sentiment, trends, and emerging concerns in real time. Surveys and focus groups create structured conversations about consumer values and expectations. Advisory panels bring ongoing perspectives from NGOs, community leaders, and advocates. Finally, third-party audits provide independent verification of supply chain and labor practices. Together, these methods help organizations replace assumptions with evidence and respond to stakeholder concerns more credibly. Strategic alignment means making corporate social responsibility part of the business strategy, rather than treating it as a separate department or an afterthought. The starting point is understanding which social and environmental issues matter most to your consumers. From there, organizations can set specific, time-bound commitments, such as reaching net zero by 2030. But goals only become meaningful when they shape everyday decisions across the company, including product design, supply chain operations, marketing, and human resources. This creates a consistent connection between consumer values and corporate action. These examples show how corporate social responsibility can become part of a company's public identity, rather than remaining a separate initiative. Patagonia links its brand to environmental activism, donating 1% of sales, and even challenging customers to buy less. Ben & Jerry's takes visible positions on racial equity, LGBTQ+ rights, and climate justice. Unilever's Sustainable Living Plan connects environmental goals with human well-being, aiming to have its environmental footprint while improving health for more than 1 billion people by 2025. Authenticity is the common thread across all three examples. To understand whether CSR is creating real value, companies need metrics that connect commitments to outcomes. What gets measured gets managed. ESG scores provide an external view of environmental, social, and governance performance. NPS adds a consumer perspective, showing whether brand values build loyalty and encourage advocacy. Carbon footprint reporting brings operational accountability, especially through verified Scope 1, 2, and 3 emissions data. Together, these indicators help organizations identify gaps, respond to consumer expectations, and demonstrate that their sustainability claims are supported by evidence. Listening and acting are only half the equation. Corporations also need to communicate what changed, how progress is measured, and where results fall short. Transparency closes a loop by turning CSR data into consumer trust. Annual sustainability reports provide comprehensive, verified disclosures aligned with standards such as GRI or SASB. Real-time dashboards offer public visibility into progress on environmental and social goals. And consumer-facing labels, including Fair Trade, B Corp, or Rainforest Alliance certifications, help people recognize responsible practices directly on the products they buy. Greenwashing is a practice of making CSR claims that sound responsible but are misleading or unsupported. The central risk is a loss of trust. Informed consumers and regulators are increasingly able to recognize when a company's messaging does not match its actions. Warning signs include vague terms like eco-friendly without evidence, highlighting a small initiative while overlooking broader harms, and relying on unverified certifications or self-reported data. When greenwashing is exposed, companies can face regulatory fines, consumer boycotts, and lasting reputational damage. The core message is simple. Listen carefully to changing consumer values, then align corporate responsibility with the business itself. Act authentically, measure real progress, and report it transparently. Above all, substantiate every claim and avoid greenwashing, because lasting trust depends on credible, verifiable impact.